guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I did for you a very special Valentine's Day eye makeup look using the new Huda Beauty Nude palette. I saw this palette about 2 weeks ago in Sephora and I was absolutely in love with the fact that it had all of these pinks and glitters and shimmers and just thought that it would be the perfect palette to use for this Valentine's Day eye look. So if you want to see how I got this eye look that I'm wearing right now, then please keep watching. Hey guys, so for this Valentine's Day look, I'm going to be using my new Nude palette by Huda Beauty. I picked this up probably 2 weeks ago from Sephora, and I'm really excited to use it because I thought that it was going to have a lot of browns in it, but it actually has a lot of pinks, which is perfect for Valentine's Day. And it has all of these shimmer shades in it. These 3 shades right here are beautiful. They're actually really pigmented. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm just using my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer to go ahead and prime my eyes. So do you all have any plans for Valentine's Day? Are you going out to dinner or doing anything special with your family? I'm not sure. I think I'm working on Valentine's Day actually because I think it falls on a Wednesday this year, but I'm sure that we will go out for the weekend, but on Valentine's Day specifically, we're not going to be doing anything. So they also have a concealer in this right down here. This is a concealer so that you can put on the glitter shades that they have, but in this palette they don't have a color that matches my skin tone, so I'm actually just gonna go ahead and use my Morphe 12 NB palette that I always use when I'm looking for those matte nude colors. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pick up this shade right here just to put all over my eyelid so that my shadows have something powdery to sit on versus tacky. All right, so now I'm gonna get into the shades. So I wanna do something pink, but a little bit romantic. So first, I'm just gonna go in with some neutral shades to kind of give me those transition colors and shape out what I'm gonna make my crease. So for that, today the first shade that I'm gonna pick up on just a fluffy blending brush is gonna be this shade right here. It's called Teddy. So I'm just gonna pick up a little bit of that on my tapered blending brush. Any fluffy blending brush would work fine for this. Tap off the excess. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and go in and shape out my crease. So for this, you don't want to go too far up to the brow bone, but you don't want to go too low either. So this is going to be a nice transition color to transition into those deeper shades that you're going to put in your crease. So you want to take your brush and you're going to hold it at the very, very top or in the middle. You don't want to hold it all the way down here because this is going to put too much pressure and then therefore you're not going to be able to blend as well. So you want to hold it out kind of far so that you can have a light hand, and you're going to do something called windshield wiper motions back and forth just to kind of get it in that crease. For this, you also don't want to be looking up. You want to be looking down. So you want to take a mirror that you have and you want to hold it down lower so that your eyelids are looking down and you can see where your crease is and where you want to apply that color. So you want the most of your color to be out here in your outer corner, right here, and then you're going to drag it in. So I'm just using these windshield wiper motions, packing it in the corner, and dragging it to the center. So I spend a lot of time blending out my colors just so that I get that very nice airbrushed look. You don't want to have any harsh lines. So take your time blending. And if you see a harsh line, then just go ahead and go back in and blend it out. The other thing that I want to talk about is when you're in this outer corner here, you want most of the color to be placed here. And then once you almost have all of the color here and there's just a very little amount on your brush, that's when you want to start dragging it to that inner corner, because you don't want to have too much color packed here in your inner corner. You want your inner corners to be bright to open up your eye, but you want there to be depth in your outer corner so that it can add that more dramatic cat eye look. Now that I have that first transition shade, you want to go in with something that's a little bit darker but not super dark. So something that you wouldn't want to do is you don't want to go in with a transition shade like this and then automatically go in with a dark shade like this or like this. What you want to do is go one shade or two shades darker than the transition color that you've already used. So for this, I'm going to go ahead and go in with this color right here, which is called Secret. So this color is just a little bit lighter. This color is a little bit darker. And it also has that undertone of the plums that I'm going to want to use for this eye look. So same technique, I'm just going to tap my brush in. So you don't have to get a lot of product on your brush because these colors are buildable. You can always go back in, add more if you want a darker look. So I just barely tap the color, tap off the excess, and then I'm gonna go ahead and back in and do those same motions that I was doing before. Just small windshield wiper motions, focusing in on that outer corner. Now, for this color, because we're starting to get into the darker shades, you're going to still use the same motions, but you're gonna drop your brush down a little bit more into the corner. So you're not gonna go up as high, you're gonna drop it down a little bit. Still using your mirror, looking down. Focusing here on the outer corner, and then just dragging that color right into that crease. In the outer corner, I'm just doing those circular motions and then doing these small windshield wiper motions while dragging it into my inner corner. So we're just adding a little bit of depth right here in this outer corner and dragging it through the crease. Now that I have these transition colors, I'm just gonna go in with a brush that's a little bit more dense to start blending colors that are deeper. So if you can see, this brush is thick and fluffy, but this brush is a little bit more dense. It's not as fluffy, the hairs aren't as long. This is just gonna pack the color in and give me a little bit more of precise movements. So for this next color, I'm gonna go ahead and go in with the shade right here. It's this pretty pink shade. So my goal is to eventually get to these two colors up here. And I just wanna use this as a transition color into the pink, because right now we have more of a neutral color that's tapering out to our brow, but I want to go in with a pink to transition from those browns into the pinks that I'm going to be using in my outer corner. So again, I'm just picking up a little bit on my brush, tapping off the excess, and going in. Now this time we keep getting further and further into the crease. So before we were up high, then we dropped down a little bit. Now we're gonna drop down even a little bit lower and focus more on that outer corner and then dragging it into our inner corner. So now, as you can see, I'm getting this nice deep color here. I'm getting this nice deep color here in my outer corner, which is just going to transition perfectly for when we put those darker colors in. Now, sometimes what I like to do, if I feel that the outer shades need to be a little bit more blended, is I'll take my brush, I won't pick up any more product, and I'll just go ahead and blend them out so there's no harsh lines. I'm gonna take this same blending brush that I used to apply the color Tickle, and I'm going to go ahead and go in with that deeper color Spanked right here. So for this, you want to build up to darkening the color in that crease. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're just going to pick up a very small amount of product on your brush, tap off the excess, and apply it just in that outer corner. So really packing it in. Really packing it on the lid and very slowly dragging it out. So you really want it to deepen that outer V right there to give your eye that shape that you're looking for. So for this, I'm just using these small circular motions, circular and then dragging it up, circular and then dragging it up. Just blending these colors together, and you really want to focus on that V that you're trying to create. So you don't want to be dragging it all the way up here. You want to be focusing it very much in this corner, blending those colors together. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with the darkest shade that I wanna use, and I'm just really gonna shape out that outer corner. I'm gonna be using a small tapered brush for this. It's not as fluffy and it's gonna give me more precise movements. So just to give you a comparison of the brushes that I've used so far. Fluffy brush for the outer, more dense brush for going into that crease and really kind of shaping it out there. And now I'm going to be going in with an even more dense brush to really cut out this crease right here that I'm trying to make. So we're gonna go in and I'm gonna take Love Bite, this deep purple right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and shape that outer V. Again, not too much product on your brush because you can always add more. For this, you wanna stay very, very close in that V, and you almost want more of it going on your lid than in the crease because you can blend out to the crease. Once you finish that, what you want to do is go back in with this fluffy brush and just use what product is left on the brush to blend out those two colors in your outer corner. Once I've done that, I'm gonna go back in with the brush that I first used for these light transition colors. I'm not gonna pick up any product. I'm just gonna blend out any harsh lines that I see on my brow. Now we're gonna go ahead and go in with the lid colors that we wanna use. The first color that I'm gonna use is Kinky, and I'm just gonna put that all over my lid. I'm gonna use a more compact flat brush for this. This one right here, it's very small. If you have bigger eyelids, then you can go ahead and use a larger one, but for me, this is perfect for my eyelid size. So I'm just gonna go ahead, pick up some of this color Kinky. Now, because this is a shimmer shade, a lot of times I will use a setting spray just so that I can pick up more product. But I think that this is an okay amount of product that I can just keep adding more if I feel I need more. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go in with a glitter that I have. This is called this is in the color Dollish. So I'm just gonna apply this to my inner corner and eyelid. We're gonna blend those out. So for that, I'm actually going to take the color Excite on a flat-headed brush. You can use the same one that you're using before, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and try to blend them together so that there's no harsh lines. Just pick up a little bit and blend. Haven't worked with glitters before, these more dense glitters are a little bit difficult to work with. So if it's your first time, you might want to just stick with a shimmer shade. It's also a little bit easier to apply these if you have some glitter glue. Okay, so this is it for the final eye look. I'm just gonna go ahead and finish doing the rest of my makeup, and I will be right back. I just finished applying my foundation, blush, contour, eyebrows. I'm just gonna go ahead and finish the under eye. I'm just gonna go in with that big brush that I used to kind of define the corner, but not the big fluffy one. So not this one, the one just a step underneath of it. And I'm gonna go in with the color Teddy, this neutral color that we used on the very most outer part. I'm just gonna dip my brush in there, tap it off. And I'm going to apply this right here underneath my lash line. Now I'm gonna go in with something a little deeper. I'm gonna go in with that color Tickle right here on the same brush. I'm just gonna apply that to the outer portion. So since this color is a little bit darker, you don't wanna apply it all the way to your inner corner, you just wanna use it on the outside. I'm gonna go in with a smudge brush or a flatter head brush. And I'm gonna apply Spanked. This is the color this isn't the deepest color that we used in our corner, but it's the color next to the deepest color that we used. So this color right here. Just gonna pick a little bit of that up on my brush. Tap off the excess. And I'm just gonna go right in against the lash line right here. And then you're gonna go ahead and just take that same brush that we used to apply the other ones and just blend everything together. So that is it for the under eye. Now I'm gonna go in with a very tiny, I think this is actually a lip brush, and I'm just gonna apply some highlight to my inner corner. So for that, I'm just gonna go in with my Kylie Cosmetics Ultra Glow. This is in the color Fiji. Just gonna pick up some of that on my brush and apply it right to my inner corner. Actually gonna go into my inner corner a little bit further with Teddy on this same brush. Now I'm just gonna tightline my upper lash line. I'm using my Marc Jacobs eyeliner. For tightlining, you just go right in and line the top lash. When I tightline, I don't go all the way into my inner corner because I just like to highlight the outside. If you've never done this before, it doesn't hurt, but it takes a little bit of getting used to. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and put some mascara on my bottom lashes. I'm just using the Maybelline Colossal Big Shot for that. So that is it for this Valentine's Day eye look. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and if you like this eye look, I definitely recommend that you go out and purchase the Nude palette by Huda Beauty. I also used all of Huda Beauty products today on my face besides my contour and highlight, but for my base products I used the Huda Beauty foundation and concealer. This is my first time using the concealer, and I thought that it did a really good job. I didn't have very much creasing under my under eye, and it definitely brightened my under eye, so I was very pleased with that. And I like this foundation. This foundation is definitely a full coverage foundation. It is matte. It doesn't have very much of a dewy finish, so if you want more of a dewy finish, then this probably wouldn't work for you, but it does definitely give you full coverage, and I really like how much coverage it gives. This is my second time using it, and I'm really pleased with it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscription button down below. Also, if you want to be notified when I post my newest video, make sure that you hit the bell. I hope that you guys have a wonderful Valentine's Day and that you get to enjoy it with everyone that you love, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!